Good afternoon and welcome to Cottage Time. This is Captain Stitches and I'm Jean. Welcome. And this afternoon, I am in a different place. Well, I'm in the cottage, but I'm in my favorite place in the cottage. I'm in my stitching corner. Yes, where I love to sit and work on hand stitching. So that is what I am going to be working on today, back on the denim shirt jacket embroidered slow stitch project. So I'm just going to be sitting here chatting with you that come into the live. Hello, Danielle. It is great to see you. Um, but I am going to be working on the denim shirt jacket this afternoon, and I'm going to be working on the mandala part of it. Mandala, however you say that. But that is the portion that I will be working on first, and then we will see as I work around on that what I end up doing. But not feeling the greatest today, so I'm glad that I plan to be in the stitching corner this afternoon because little less stressful, a little easier to sit here and just do some hand stitching and chat with those of you in the chat. See if you what everyone is doing this afternoon, what everyone is working on. Welcome, Carol. It is great to see you. And Kristen with Crady Crafts is here this afternoon. Welcome to you all. But yeah, did put my thimble on, and like I said, I'm working on the Mandela section of this, and I will put the other camera on in just a bit, so you will be able to just um watch me as I stitch. You'll be able to see that a little bit better. And we will just chat, have a good conversation, just have a good time this afternoon, relaxing and enjoying just doing some stitching by hand. So tell me, what are all of you working on today as I switch to the other camera? Make sure I'm still lined up. Looks like I am. It looks pretty good there. I think that'll work. But Danielle says she is just trying to get her tasks done so she can leave work on time at 5. All right. Sounds like a good plan. I have to figure out where I left off here working on this. I'm working on this part going around the center of that mandala right now, and I don't have any colors in mind. I'm just kind of working as I go and then deciding what to do in the next sections as they come up. But so right now, just kind of working right in this middle section here, and they kind of look like leaves. So I am doing those in a variegated green pearl cotton. But and Kristen is sandwiching quilts to two done and one more to go. Awesome, awesome. I have got Tilda on the long arm. I should be working on her more, but just haven't felt up to standing behind the long arm the last couple days. So did get it loaded on there, but that's about it for now. But yeah, so these have got some long stitches on the part that I'm doing right now. And also then the outer part, I'm just back stitching the section that kind of is the outer part of the design. And then the inner part is just long straight stitches. And it looks like I'm going to end up running out of thread right away, so I'm going to have to rethread my needle, I think, before I go on. These long straight stitches eat up the thread fast. But yeah, I've got enough to finish that. I'm going to have to knot that off on the back. And It is a little hard working on a project this large to be able to get your hand in and around everything and in position, but that doesn't even look bad on the inside, does it? But not bad at all. But yeah, I'm just gonna knot this off and then we'll get the more thread on the needle and be able to get back with it. My become my favorite little pair of scissors. I know a few of you saw those and have gotten them as well. I have a jar up there that I keep my threads in. I try not to poke my leg by putting the needle in there. That wouldn't be good, but yeah, I'm just using, it's kind of a brighter green variegated red right now. And it is a size 8 pearl cotton. Using all different ones. I had to think where I put my needle. How soon we forget, huh? How many of you put a needle down and can end up looking around and around and around trying to figure out where you laid that needle down? Don't let me forget, I do have another project I'm going to be starting that I wanted to show you before the live is over. So you have an idea, and I think there's a couple of you that are subscribers that may have the kit that I'm going to be showing and showing what I'm going to be doing with it, because I'm not using it the way the pattern is that they had that goes with the kit. But I always have to be a little different. It's fun being different. But so now I have to figure out where I want to start here because I have to do the back stitching first, which is a little hard to keep that open so you can exactly see where I'm stitching, but at least you can kind of watch me stitch as we chat. So what are you working on, Carol? Are you still working on your hexagons? Or are you finished with that mystery project? I need to get back to work on my hexagons also. Excuse me. And there is Debbie. Hello, good afternoon to you. It's a little quiet today. Not quite as many in the chat right now yet, but try to get a conversation going with some questions while I just sit here and stitch today. Sorry, there's a notification that popped up in front of the chat I need to get rid of so I can see. But let us know what you're working on today, Debbie. But Mr. Whip is in the house this afternoon. He is in bad need of a haircut. I'm going to definitely have to do that this weekend. Cannot let it go on any longer. But and there is Joe. Hello to you. Welcome. Working on your rose needle book. Okay. I know that's that's on my list to work on today. I'm not sure. I've gotten my days mixed up a little, so I'm not exactly sure without checking my schedule, but I think it's on there. I think I'm supposed to work on it this evening, but it's either that or the pink quarterly slow stitch project. One of the two. Yeah. Try and turn this so I can get my hand in there better. And I decided that, yeah, this is need to need to start working on this again because this is kind of getting the time of year that it would be nice to be able to wear this if it was completed. Great time of year for that, spring when it's cooler in the mornings and cool evenings. Want to go on a walk, it's still kind of most of the time need some kind of a jacket on yet. So, and now we need to turn it again. Nothing like working in a circle. Keeps us going round and round and round. Katie says she trimmed Rosie Cat today. Her soft undercoat is prone to mats, and I trim them frequently. Yes, that is what is going to happen with Whip if I don't get him trimmed. He's got a couple I got out on his chest this morning. He wasn't too happy about that. But he has a tendency to get them back close to the end of his body for a better word rather than saying close to the tail. Let's say that. That seems to be his most problem area. And he does not like anyone to touch his tail. But, oops, almost pulled that too fast. It's one thing you don't want to do when you're doing hand embroidery. If you pull your thread too fast when it's long, you'll end up putting a knot in it because it likes to twist. So try to avoid doing that. So I've got that section back stitched and outlined. I'm debating whether I should do that. No, that would waste thread doing it that way. So we are going to continue doing it the way I was. Outline it, and then I go back and do the straight stitches in the center. Except I'm going to have to turn it around again to do that. Need to work at it from this angle instead. Like getting a workout, just turning it around to be able to keep working on it. How are the puppies doing, Danielle? Are they getting potty trained? That would be quite quite the undertaking with that many at once. Of course, it's only one more than what I had, but hey, that can make a big difference. I'm trying to get the tip of my needle to come up exactly where I wanted, and it's just missing the spot. There we go. And get that over there where it belongs. this actually ends up, it looks funny. Didn't try quite get that. The nice thing about having your pattern printed out on this, okay, I see what I did. We won't do that again. I went to the outside instead of the inside on my V down here, which made the stitch go over a little farther than what I really wanted it to go. But as I was saying, what's nice about having your pattern printed on this stitch and stick is once you are done, it's all washed out and there's nothing there to see. So if you went off your line just a little bit, it's not going to be there. It's not going to show. So no one will ever see it and will ever know it. And Daniel says, slowly, so far they each have successfully went potty outside once. Okay, could be a long road to success with them. However, leash training was a breeze. Okay, awesome. And Luna says hi to Auntie Joe. Oh, okay. And we've got that one done. Already off to the other one. We've got what? Three of them. Three more of them to go here. Oh, let me see. I have to turn this again to be able to do the back stitch correctly. Sorry about all the turning, but it's just what you have to do when you're doing embroidery. Well, you have to do that when you're hand quilting a quilt too. So it seems like a very, very quiet day today. The neighborhood is quiet. Dogs have been quiet. They're probably all sleeping right now, probably all taking a nap while they're inside the house. Thank you, Joe. Yeah, it's going to be quite colorful, and there's a whole lot of stitching to be done on this yet. But if I stick with it and work on it consistently for a while, maybe I can actually get it done. For some reason, I feel guilty when I only work on one project. Oh, I've never only worked on one at a time, so I always feel like there's, the others are getting ignored. But Carol would be so, what's the word? She wouldn't know what to do if I ever just worked on one project at a time. Thank you, Danielle. Yes, it's pretty. I got that on Amazon. It's a Zentangle, which they have now come out with them already um pre-printed, ready for embroidery. And I think I have a couple that are supposed to be arriving tomorrow, I do believe. So that will be interesting. Of course, they're not printed on the stick and stitch, they're printed on fabric. But it will be exciting to see them. I forget I forget what patterns I have coming. And I also have a stitch book kit coming tomorrow also. And a book on thread painting that's done by machine, which I years ago took a class on that was offered through my guild. They had the professional teacher come in and teach that, and it was really quite fun. At that time that I took it, I wasn't quite into as many artsy things as I am now in my stitching, so I didn't stick with it, and now I feel like, okay, I would like to explore that technique again. Debbie says, it would be a big surprise for sure for me to do only one thing at a time. Yes, I don't know if I can. It would it would be nice to try, but then you'd all get bored too if you only saw me working on one thing. And Joe says her three nieces and nephew are the sweetest, and Aunt Joe wants to squeeze them. You're talking about the dogs, I take it. That's cute, Joe. Oh, let me see. I have to come from this outer one first, up to the middle section of this one again already. But yeah, you kind of have to plan the direction you're going. And when you're working through denim, getting the point of your needle to come up exactly where you want is not quite as quick and easy to do as when you are working on a thinner fabric. And then there's also the stick and stitch, which it's not really sticky, but you can tell a difference with your tip of your needle coming through it. But you get used to it. It's just an adjustment, just like anything else. Love those paw prints. I just saw that down there by your heart smiley faces, Joe. Yeah, at first I thought you were talking about some real nieces and nephews, and then I realized, nope, you're talking about the puppies and Whip, I believe. Not sure, but he gives the best hugs, let me tell you. He knows he knows the word hug, and he puts both paws up around your neck and squeezes. So he knows the difference between the word kiss and the word hug. That's cute. And around we go. It's like working on a merry-go-round instead of a keep turning and turning and turning. What's this one thing at a time I'm hearing? Never heard of one thing at a time. Yeah. I've never been able to work on one thing at a time. My my sister, Judy, she can, oops, wrong direction. Can't go that way. I gotta make one more turn. One more turn. It's like can't do the stitch that direction. Okay, where am I? I lost my place. Okay, I guess I was going there. That doesn't work too well either, but we'll try and get it from here. I think that's where I was going. Yep, we got to take a little bit more of a turn. It's a foreign concept for me too, Danielle. Yeah, I know. Carol is pretty good at that, except I think she's usually maybe working on, well, she concentrates mainly on one, but I think she sometimes has a couple going, but nothing like the rest of us. Yeah, right. Joe, one thing at a time, and we're laughing. Maybe that should be a challenge for at least one for at least a week. All of us that are saying we can't do that, we can only work on one thing at a time. See how well we do, whether they're able to do that or not. Sorry, I had to switch legs there for a minute. Danielle says that she started really well this year on clearing a lot off the disaster, clearing a lot off. The disaster took place and trying to find my tracks again. Yes. I have done I have done a lot better since I changed to actually working on what I really want to work on. That makes a definite difference in working on them. I have found that out, so I'm getting things done a lot quicker than I was because I'm actually working on projects that I really want to work on. Oh no. Oh no, Carol. She says she has three going, but work on one a day. Yeah, that's kind of, well, I kind of schedule to work on about three a day, but that could never be a challenge, Jean. We would drink 10 times the amount of coffee and go crazy. Well, maybe we could try it just for one day. I don't know. Yep. That would that wouldn't be very good to have to drink 10 times the amount of coffee, not in trying doing hand stitching, or imagine trying to use a rotary cutter with all that coffee in us. That could be dangerous. Now I know it can be done because if you go to a class or something that is a detailed one, it usually takes a good day. So you'd only be working on one thing then, but that's just one day. Unless, of course, you go to a 3-day workshop like I am wanting to do. I don't think it's going to happen this year. I would like it to, but I just don't foresee that happening. But now when the spring virtual retreat is in April, well, we might be working on two things, but we'll mainly be working on one thing during that time. I think as the day went on, Joe, it might revert to something other than coffee. I have the yeah, Debbie says, look out, Carol. I only had two or three going a few years ago. Now they have exploded into too many. All of you are supposed to do as I say, not as I do. Nowhere on my plan for the year was an entry for Christmas, Valentine's Day, and St. Patrick's Day quilts. Okay. I I understand that. Wait a minute. Oh, I just kept on going right around. I see what I did. So we're going to end up with two. I'm going, wait a minute. How did I get from there to there? Okay. I was looking up at the chat and chatting and not paying attention to the direction I was going. So I just kept on going, but that will work out just fine. In fact, it might have been a little quicker that way. That's what I was thinking about doing earlier, but I think it will take a little bit more thread is the only thing doing it this way. And speaking of which, I'm about to run out of thread again. And trying to do back stitch this way just is not the right angle. So we are going to have to turn it around again. Not back, it's a forward stitch if you're not going that right way. That's what you say. I forgot what I said already. Debbie. Oh, that's quite a few. Well, and you're working on the oh, the Art East one as well. Kristen, I forget the name of that one, but so yeah, you've got a lot that you're doing. The majority of mine, I think, and why they're taking so long is, well, some of them I refer to as fusion quilts because there are a couple techniques combined. But the reason they're taking so long is most of them are the majority of it is handwork. And that does take a little longer, but it is what is my passion and what I love to do more. So I'm okay with that. There's just so many of them that I want to do that are all by hand, which the one that I'm going to show you, and I'll do that since I was at the end of this thread before I forget, which the other two that I think have this same kit aren't on here this afternoon, but I'm sure they will see the replay. Where did I end that off? Okay, we got to come up there. Just putting my needle where I'm going to need it to be, but I'm going to thread it before I go on. The 100-acre wood, yes. Yeah, yep, I don't know if I worked on less at a time, I don't think, well, no, I call one when I ever get it started, I call it my lifetime achievement project, but it is yeah, it's one that's going to take a long time, but I can't really think of any that I have that if I actually really worked on it, not a bunch of others, that would take a whole year. You're working on the kangaroo right now. Ooh, I bet that's fun. That is such a cute quilt. All right, come on, cooperate. There we go. Didn't want to pop through there. Don't pull it the wrong way and pull it right back out. That would not be nice. And yes, I'm working with a little bit longer thread than I should, but it's okay. Let me get this back in here where I left off. Right to there. And I'm going to set this down in my lap, and I'm going to show you the project that I want to start working on. And I'm going to leave it at this camera so that you'll, whoopsie, be able to see that. Oh, pick that up that I dropped. Okay. Which I know that you saw this, Joe, and it is the one that has the crumb blocks put together kind of like a crazy quilt and has the embroidery in the middle. I think you can see that. I'm trying to put it at there. That's a pretty good angle too, but you can see that. But I was thinking of what I was going to use in the center, and I have this kit that I got. Ooh, the light's really shining on that. Sorry about that. But I got this from Missouri Star Quilt Company. Comes in this beautiful tin. Inside that, we take that off there from shining so much. This is how, and I did not get the fabrics that go with it. I think it works better if we hold it that way for you to see. But that is how they have you putting it together. Well, I think that's kind of plain and it's done with kind of denim-like fabric. But it has this beautiful little, and it looks like it would be a hexagon project because everything's in hexes, but it's not. That's just the way it's packaged. But they have the needles, a needle minder, the scissors, and a needle threader here for the kit, all really nicely done. Yes, isn't it pretty? And Katie says, oh, Danielle says she had to set aside her 100-acre woods until I get older ones caught up. Then I'll come back to it. Sounds like same thing that I do a lot of times, Danielle. And Katie says, it's definitely different than anything I've done, a challenge, but I'm enjoying it. Awesome. That's what is the fun. And Danielle are doing Hollywood Squares again tonight. Okay. But this is okay, yes, which I flipped this over so that I could see them instead, but it's got the that's yeah, that light's gonna shine. That light is going to shine on there. I'm sorry, it is just really glaring and I can't find a spot that it's not. Okay. Maybe if we move this. There, nope, it's still there we go. Try this way. Nope. There you can kind of see, but it's all of these have a different floral arrangement on them. I'm trying to get it so that light doesn't shine, but there are 20 of them. So I thought, and they're not, like I said, they're not hexagons. They are on this stick and stitch in here. If I can get this out, and I'm sure that's going to glare, but they are already on that. It's a circle and it's about, oh, it'll fit on about of course, not quite a 5 by 5. It would have to be a 5.5 by 5.5 inch square. So I figured, okay, that'll be just about right for being able to trim into some shapes for that to be the centers to start on working this. But yeah, I thought that would be fun because could just kind of work on it as as I go, but this has all the threads and everything in it as well. So I thought, okay, I already have that. That would be a great one to use for that. So that is, whoops, might help to put this back in there. We'll be looking for it, wondering where it went. Stick that all back in there. There we go. And it'll, oops, have a nice tin to keep everything in while I'm working on it as well. But I'm wanting to get started on that. I don't know why. It's just really, really drew my attention, and it's yeah, it's like, ooh, okay. I'm excited to get started on that. So we'll see. I have to figure out what fabric I want to use for the background for all of the embroidery and figure out the size and get those cut and get those on there and then go from there. And of course pull some fabrics and decide how I want to do that because I kind of want I can't do a total scrappy quilt. It has to be a planned scrappy. So I have to kind of plan my scraps. They have to they have to kind of have some rhyme or reason. So I can't just do pull and do a plain total scrappy quilt. Not disciplined enough to do. Well, I guess I'm too disciplined to do that. It's just yeah. I don't have to have it all matchy matchy, but I have to have some type of a theme or certain colors that I decide to use. So we shall see on that. Haven't quite decided on that yet. I was looking yesterday, but I didn't come up with anything yet. Yes, isn't it? That will be a nice tin to have for a long time to use as a to have always as a hand stitching kit with everything in there. You should be eyeballing the new one they came out with, Danielle, because it has to do with bees. Yes. And it's got a bright yellow tin and it's got the honeybee theme on it. So you need to check that one out. And it is done in hexagons instead, I do believe. So yeah, go over to Missouri Star and check that out. Every time I see it, I think of you. I think, ooh, Danielle would like that. But yep, it's the beautiful yellow and all the bees running around on it. Jean is getting scrappy. I've done a lot of what I call scrappy quilts, but like I said, planned scrappy, not totally scrappy. My long time gone was actually scrappy. I used a whole bunch of different ones out of my Civil War era fabrics on that, but I would consider that a scrappy quilt. Like I said, if you can call it planned scrappy. Yes, bees. I'm surprised you haven't seen that one, Danielle. It comes up as an on the ads once in a while when you're watching YouTube also. So yeah, surprised you've never seen that one yet. Okay. I think we're going to be able to finish the inside portion here that I was working on because I've just got the inner part of it now. I've got that back stitch. There's just two of them left to go that has that inner part. So gonna have this round done. That'll be nice. Except then I have to decide where I go from there because I kind of jump around on this. I still have a lot of the flowers to do that are going all the way around the bottom portion. But it's nice to be able to jump around a little because you don't get as bored that way. Definitely checking it out after your live stream. Yes, you will go, oh my, oh my, oh my. And for everything that you get, it's really not a bad price either. Of course, you do not get the fabric. Well, I don't know how they did that one, but I know on this one, the fabric was not included. That was an extra charge if you got the fabric kit that went along with it. I haven't been doing any shopping in months, says Danielle, which means I don't go where I'll be tempted. Had to save up for property taxes, which are paid now. Okay, I understand that. Good old taxes. Always something, isn't there, to take away from our, oops, that's not quite where I want it. There we go. That's better. That's still not where I want it. We'll get there yet. Okay. But yeah, I was saying there's always something that takes away from our quilt money. Danielle spent her fun money on puppies. Yes. I know our two were not were not cheap at all. I spent more than my fun money on ours. But I don't know. I don't have a budget, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Oops, I think there's a knot in my thread back there. Oh, how did we get that in there? It's not pulling out. Okay. It's a teeny tiny one. I have to pop it through until I get past it. That's not nice. I hate when that happens. But yeah, I'm going to have the center section that I was. Yeah, now that's going to be fun. Okay, we got it. Now it sounds like there's two there, but there's only one. I guess it was where it was popping through both spots on it. But I think after this time, it should be hopefully past that part in it. Okay. So yours has been on, wait a minute here. I missed some. Bill collectors should start sending fabric for rewards to paying them. Then we'd still owe them, Danielle. That's a good one. Oh, it says, nope, that's what hubby and son spent their expendable cash on. Okay. Yours has been on toys for them. Yeah. The one Whip's favorite toy, I can't tell you how many times I have had to stitch it up where he has torn into it and starts getting the stuffing out of it. But he doesn't want to part with it. He gets very upset when you take it away. So he watches the whole time that I'm repairing it, waiting for me to hand it back to him. One of these days, I don't know. I'm gonna have to wait until he's inside or something, and because the next time I don't think it's going to be repairable, and I won't be able to throw it away in front of him. I don't think he would like that. Poor thing. But it's a moose is what it is. So, but that seems to be his favorite one. Okay, I have come to the end of this section. So, can you see that center part there a little better now? But that's going to be very colorful when it's done because it still has a lot to go, and yeah, there's going to be a lot of other colors in there yet, which that's not it's not showing up, but I did the French knots and some of this around the outer edge just to keep that sticking down on there because it has a tendency when you are really working with it a lot, it it doesn't stay down on the edges too well. So I have worked around where the edge parts are so it is tacked down and isn't coming up on the edges as much as I possibly can keep it anyway. There's a couple of sections I know that I put a safety pin or something in to keep it until I get the stitching done that goes there. But okay, I'll turn this over and show you some that's been done on the bottom flower. Well, there's not much done on that. Just the stems and the stems and leaves, I think, are well, every other stem because they're the different colors that will end up going around there on all of them. But then I started doing some of the parts up there too to also help keep it to stay down, which that's the other color have started coming back. Yeah, we're all the way we're at the start there. Oops, I'm going the wrong direction. There we go. There we've got it in, which of course that's the fabric strip coming down there, but that you can kind of see how that's going to be and all the different colors that are going to go in that yet, which yeah, I started on this one with the yellow around it this morning. So just deciding on the colors of that too. They don't look like any flowers that I see really growing out in for real. So they're kind of whimsical. So I will use whimsical colors on them as well. But I have decided up and if I can get this around here, get it turned around. Okay. I have decided that up on this corner, where is it? Right up here by the collar, this section right here, there is going to be a butterfly that goes in that section. And then there is going to be a bird that goes on the other side. So that's as far as my planning has gone for that. But let me go ahead and switch to the other camera. Which always hesitates. There we go. But yeah, so I was able to yeah, Debbie says one day Whip ate an arm or leg off of his animal. It was actually the the ear and the antler that he chewed off that I had to sew back on. And he always gets it underneath where the head and the body are attached. That's where he kind of starts pulling the stuffing out of all the time. But yeah, he he goes at it. And it's funny when he lays down to take a nap, he'll have that laying underneath his head. And so this has been a little different today, just back in the stitching corner, stitching and just chatting. That doesn't happen often, but I think what I might do is once a month I will do my live in the stitching corner and be working on hand stitching from here, just relaxing and having a chat. So I hope that you enjoyed that and were able to possibly work along on something you're working on while I was stitching in my favorite spot of the stitching cottage. For now, can't wait until I can move my hand stitching part over to a little bigger area and where I can am not blocked from seeing the front door. I can see the whole entire cottage from here except the door, and I don't like not being able to see the door. So once the long arm is moved out of here, I will be able to move this over to a better area and have a little bit more room. I'm thinking of getting a more more comfy chair. So you will see. But thank you everyone for joining me. Thank you. It was great to see you also, Joe. And yeah, maybe we'll just do a partial challenge of that and try to work on only two things. Can we can we try that challenge for the let's just make it for the last half of this week. We'll challenge ourselves to only work on two projects instead of multiple ones until the end of this week and see how we can handle that. But take care, everyone. Have a great day. Have a great rest of your week. Be safe. Happy stitching. And remember, as always, in the meantime, I can keep you in stitches. Bye-bye, everyone.